Welcome in to episode 4 Fantasy and Football podcast. We're your hosts, Chris and Colby, here to talk about week 2 of the NFL and some fantasy football to start. So as a recap for week 2, my team, the Browns, still terrible, still the Browns. Did you see that what happened like pre-game during the week with some of the Browns defenders talking about how it's not that hard to tackle Derrick Henry and how they're not like scared about the Ravens and all this. Yeah, that didn't
see that
well. It ended how we all thought it would end, and
they were who we thought they were.
Yeah, that's exactly right. How'd your team do?
Well, not good. The Chiefs are 0-2. I haven't had to deal with this since 2014. I'm struggling mentally.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a bad beat.
It was a bad beat, man. Yeah, Kelsey's old. He's lost a step. It's tough. It's tough to watch, but I still have faith. I think we're going to turn it around.
Yep. Hopefully. I would say you definitely have a better chance of turning it around than the Browns. Yeah. At least you don't have quarterback controversy in addition to your team being 0-2.
True.
So name of this episode this week, fantasy football sucks. And this happens about this time of year every year.
Yeah.
Where some guys that you were really high on are not performing, and some guys that you were low on are performing well. They're just not on your team because you didn't draft them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're at that point. For me, Brian Thomas Jr., I have a lot of stock in Brian Thomas Jr., it appears, and he's just not clicking. He's got the injury.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can get into that later, but it just is tough. It's tough. It's a battle of attrition, and it's very early on in the season still.
Yes. Yeah, my team sucks. All three of my teams
are not good.
I just keep thinking about the clip where I'm like, yeah, I'd give myself a grade of B. Each week.
Just further down that list. Yeah. No, I get it. And it's tough too when it's hard not to. And I tell friends of mine or just people I play with in fantasy football that are new that you cannot be beholden to the projections.
Yes.
And I can't really practice what I preach too much because I look at those projections and it's like, how is this guy who is getting no fantasy points or anywhere close to what they're supposed to get or what's projected, that they keep getting all these points? And it's just been a little bit of a roller coaster so far. Time for the segment, GM of the year.
Mm-hmm.
As a reminder, in this segment, we state the player or players that we played in any of our lineups that far outperformed their projections, making your case for GM of the year. Who do you got this week?
Yeah, this was, I feel good about this one because this is a very little known player. Most people don't know who this guy is. His name's Jamar Chase. He scored like 37.5. He scored like 37 and was projected to score like 19. So, I mean, he absolutely boomed. I still lost. Didn't help me.
Yeah.
That's
tough. Well, as GM, you can only pick the players and start the players.
Yeah. I actually this week. Yeah. Well, I think what ruined me is last week I started George Pickens and I sat Jacoby Myers, and then I also sat Cooper Kupp because I didn't know what he was going to be like. And then I played Cooper Kupp, and neither George nor Cooper Kupp did well. So I benched both of them, started other people, and then they both scored like 16 and 18 respectively. I was like, of course.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Yeah. I saw a comment on some fantasy football post somewhere, and it really encapsulated, I think, the psyche of a lot of fantasy football players, which is it may have been talking about Brian Thomas Jr. to be honest with you, but the post I'm paraphrasing said something along the lines of, "Oh, I wonder why it's not clicking for this player yet, or why we're not seeing it pan out." And the top comment just said, "My bad, guys. It was probably because I put them in my starting lineup."
Yes.
I
believe that. I believe that.
It's like in Call of Duty, it's like the peak rule where it's like if you're like looking down and then you fake them out, like you're like turning around to leave and you come back, because when you turn around to leave is right when that person comes running around the corner.
Yes.
All right. So as far as me for GM of the year, I'm still absolutely riding that Javonte Williams wave.
Dude, he's balling out.
Absolute baller. So I'm still in that wave. I did miss out Roma Dunze. Apologies, I was not familiar with your game. Left him on the bench in a couple of leagues and was missing those 30 plus points that he had. Clearly, there's a lot of preseason hype around Odunze, which turns out that they were all right, but I was still a little bit not low, but it's just like they have so many weapons. Chicago doesn't really have an offensive identity. DJ Moore is still in his prime and was still so good 2 years ago that you would think between him and Odunze in his second year that DJ Moore would still be the one who has the most plays for him, and that Caleb would be finding as he's kind of the veteran. They got rid of they moved on from Keenan Allen, who's balling, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Now in LA, he's balling. But they moved on from him. They drafted that Luther Burden, who's barely, if at all, getting on the field. So Odunze is like a strong number 2 option. I felt like he was probably going to be that, but not quite to the level that he's at right now. So Roma Odunze, no more doubt. I'm starting him.
Put him in, baby.
Now.
Yes.
Which, what that means.
He's going to be horrible.
Apologies to all you out here that I'm going to put him in my starting lineup.
He's 4-5.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So time to talk about a trade. So I'm glad you didn't see this. So I sent you, so as a reminder, Colby and I are in a league together that is primarily people in the office that I work in. And Colby is the last man off the bench for us.
Yes.
So I sent you this trade, and in real time, talk about what you think. Okay.
We'll look at.
So, and I'll read it out loud while you pull it up. So, I would give you Keenan Allen, James Conner, and Omarion Hampton for Bucky Irving.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I am enticed by this. Let me go look at. Dude, my team is struggling, and I need some receivers. Let me go look at this. So Keenan Allen, who is balling, I really like Keenan Allen. And you said this last Hampton had the worst game I've ever seen yet.
I know. I was texting you about.
Yes, but I'm a big James Conner fan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Hampton is a little, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of showing and playing my hand here, but Omarion Hampton is one of the biggest sell or buy low targets right now. Just because the opportunities are there and will continue to be there. He doesn't really, Najee Harris is there, but it doesn't seem like he's really going to be fighting for it. So the upside is still definitely there. If he was someone that I would be trying to buy low myself. But the way my roster is constructed, I think this might work. And it gives you help at positions.
I know. I need it. Dude, right now I have a tight end in my flex because I'm just don't have anyone that I trust to consistently perform. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? And I
The
have.
other, huh?
Mhm. Well, I
Oh,
always say his name wrong, but the running back for Miami, um,
Devon
A.
Achan.
Chan. Yeah, I have
Mhm.
him, and he's been balling. So
Oh, he's very good. Um, so don't hit accept quite yet or reject or whatever. But
okay,
I've got some other players
right?
um, that I may be willing to because you need like receivers big time.
Yes, I need a consistent receiver because, like you said, DJ Moore. I benched him this week because he didn't do well.
Yeah.
That was a good call. But I was excited about him. I thought he was going to be, like you said, the number one target, and he
Mhm.
just hasn't been.
Yes.
George Pickens, he did well, but he had a lot of those points in overtime.
I would also be willing if you weren't
Who,
crazy about Hampton, but like James Conner. What were we gonna say?
who's this Javonte Williams guy? I'll take him.
I bet
No,
you
I actually like
would.
this. I really do like this trade because I do not have my next running back on my bench is Pacheco, who scores 2 points a week. So I
Yeah.
need somebody that I can play during the bye weeks, and Hampton is like at least an upside on those weeks.
Yeah.
So I like this trade. I honestly would do this.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll accept
Are we
it.
doing it live? Lock it in, baby. Lock it in.
Boom. All right. Congratulations, sir. Let's shake
Trade
hands.
pending.
All right.
All right, there you have it. So the trade
Let's put him
again.
in there.
Keenan Allen, James Conner, Amari, and Hampton for Bucky Irving.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it works out in our favor.
Me too. I like Keenan Allen. He's just a solid veteran, and Herbert looks good. Well,
the other way I think about it too, because you have McConkey, the lad McConkey, who obviously Keenan has been kind of the wide receiver one, where a lot of people thought. I mean, he wasn't really on the team kind of going into the year, so I think McConkey was properly rated. But obviously he stepped into that role. The biggest thing with Keenan Allen is health concerns, just given prior injuries and his age a little bit right now. But the thing is if he does end up slowing down, you've got the guy that's going to be the number one option.
True. That's true.
So
cool. I'm happy with it.
All right. Good. Wow. That went so smooth. That was great.
I almost never accept trades too. Almost all the time people send me trade and it's some stupid stuff. Like, it's like 2 backups for Derrick Henry. I'm like, no.
You're like, could I interest you in a little Calvin Ridley for Jamar Chase?
Yeah. Lateral
both number ones on their teams. One guy has a hurt quarterback. One has an up and comer.
That's true.
All right. Wow, I really can't believe that just went so great. I'm glad that we're seeing eye to eye on the trade. We'll have to revisit.
Yes.
Over the
next week, I'm like, how that fucked me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Keenan Allen gets hurt first play of the game.
Yeah, we get to the injury section of this, and it's just like. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break some news that Bucky Irving's actually gonna miss things.
Yeah.
I
got this notification 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. All right. Time for the next segment. Mm-hmm. This is my personal favorite. Win, lose, or Bush League. Right. So, as another reminder, in this segment, we state whether our teams won, lost, or should have won, but lost. In other words, it was Bush League.
Yes. I'll make this real easy for you. I'm in 3 leagues, and I lost all 3. I am 0-6 in fantasy, and fantasy football sucks.
Fantasy football sucks.
Not only that, I noticed this just now. Thought it was amusing. From last week in our league. By the way, everybody, Chris and I played each other last week. He beat me, not by a ton, but he beat me. Anyway, I scored the least amount of points out of the entire league.
Oh, did you really? I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Fantasy football sucks.
Fantasy football sucks.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I sure did.
I lost to my boss. I lost to my actual boss at my work league by 9.
Oh, by 9. Was there any Bush league with like the
quarterback
PPR thing?
Both our quarterbacks had like 48, so it negated each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just loss.
Mm-hmm.
No Bush league. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I won in 3. So my guillotine league, I moved on, so I won that one. Our matchup, I won, obviously.
Yes.
And then a little cherry on top was the fact that I won in my primary league with my buddies from back home. So I am projected to be the worst team every single week, but my team overperformed, and
that's
I came through with a pretty convincing victory. Actually, I had the largest margin of victory.
Ooh, yeah, GM of the year right there.
GM of the year.
Come on
now. That's a little intersegmental crossover there. And I had one loss, and it was Bush League.
Oh,
Bush
what happened?
League. I had the highest points in a loss in my family league. My team scored 100 it's a 10-person PPR league.
Yeah.
And my team scored 100 and close to 150 points. I would have beaten every other team in the league except the team I played, who just went absolutely bananas. Now, you could say it's not really Bush League because there wasn't some arbitrary thing that happened, but it feels Bush League when you score that many points that would have beaten everyone else.
Yes.
And then you
play that is Bush League,
just dude. Like buzzsaw of the week. Yeah.
Nothing makes me angrier than that. And then what happens is you complain in the group, and then everyone's like, "Oh, boo-hoo, dude!" And you're like,
"Yeah,
I'm so angry."
Yeah, it's like I should get like I don't even know, like a half a win. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, just you start get something. With a 10-point handicap the next week.
You get to pick a player off of the team that scored the fewest points.
Yes,
and trade them with anyone on your team.
Yeah,
you just get to swap for getting that. All right, nice. That was win-lose or Bush League. Time to move on to injury. So injury talk is going to be a little bit lengthier today because we had some bad injuries this week.
Big games too.
George Kittle, we talked about last week, hamstring injury. He's on IR, so that's 4 weeks. Xavier Worthy, so kind of a weird thing. He didn't play. He practiced last week, limited participant, but didn't play. So I guess we're calling it week to week with the shoulder.
Did you see what I put in there? He practiced today with no restrictions.
Oh, he practiced today with no restrictions.
Yeah,
okay.
Today.
So that is definitely, what is it? Wednesday. So that's definitely a positive heading into the week. I also saw something. Now, this is where, as physical therapists, we get a little bit, I won't say frustrated, but a little bit annoyed just kind of by layman's terms or just not a full or complete understanding of injuries. So I saw somewhere out there talking about it was a separated shoulder. So a separated shoulder, I think we may have talked about this last week, is different from a dislocation or subluxation. Even though in your mind it kind of makes sense that if you are separating your shoulder, it's dislocating, but that's not necessarily true. So a separated shoulder refers to your acromioclavicular joint or your AC joint. So your AC joint is where your collarbone, if you follow it all the way out to the side of the shoulder, and then at the top of your shoulder here is your acromion. So it's where these two bones here and right here. It's where these two bones meet. Now it's a joint. It moves a little bit, but it's not necessarily a joint. It's not part of your shoulder joint proper. Where if you were to dislocate your shoulder, you're talking about the ball and socket joint. This is above that and sits outside
Yep.
of the joint. And so when they talk about a separation, what happens is that some of those ligaments tear and the collarbone can start to drift away from
Mhm.
where it connects on the bone down here. So this week, Keenan Allen was seen after the game with his shoulder pads off, and he's got really bad old separated shoulders or AC joint
Yeah.
issues, and you can see them kind of stick up that way. So now it kind of made me question, like, okay, was this person saying separated shoulder, thinking that that was maybe synonymous with a
Right.
dislocation, or is maybe his recovery and only potentially missing a week because it was actually a separated shoulder, an actual
Yeah.
that injury. So if that's the case, I mean, that way different, totally different,
Yeah.
able to play with that. So
Hmm. I hope so.
I hope so.
For the Chiefs' sake. Yeah.
I know. All right. Some notable new injuries that happened this
Yeah.
week. So old Joey Cool, down with turf toe. So turf toe is probably the most searched
Yeah.
term on Google in like the greater Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Kentucky area. So turf toe, he had an MRI. It was a grade 3 injury. So when they grade injuries, the higher the number, usually the worse that it is. And it usually goes up to grade 3. So that indicates that whatever the soft tissue that was there has some significant tearing or damage that has happened to it, and often requires surgery. And that's what's going to happen for Joe Burrow. So he's going to have surgery on this, which will take him out for a while. So a
Yeah.
turf toe injury is the ball of your foot where your big toe is, on the undersurface, so the part that is against the ground when you walk. Your toe has to flex up. And so when you plant to run or cut or anything like that or jump, your toe needs to bend. And those tendons that run underneath the ball of your foot, if you get a significant injury there, a lot like if an Achilles tear or rupture happens, where you see that moment a guy plants and then that load is just so much that that tendon ends up rupturing. That's what happens at that point in the big toe. So there's rupturing of that ligament, of course, because it's on that plantar surface, that under surface of your foot. Extremely painful to try to walk on. And again, in order to run and jump and cut and do all those things you need to do to play football, your tendon is very much not fully intact. It's painful.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the push off that you need. So this is a pretty significant injury in a line of
Right.
injuries that Joe Burrow has had.
And I feel like the term turf toe makes it sound like it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
turf toe. It's like,
It's
no,
just a
this
toe. Yeah.
tore
Yeah.
like you tore soft tissue.
Yeah.
It's just because it's in your toe and that's small. I mean, you use it every single play, every single play.
Yes.
Poor guy, man.
Exactly.
He has gone through it.
I know. The thumb.
The ACL.
Yeah. Now
And
there's
now this. And you know what is even worse about it is he's my quarterback.
yeah, that's tough. He's a lot of people's quarterback.
Yeah. I'm like curious to see what Jamar Chase is going to do now, or like fantasy wise, like if he's going to produce.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I mean, pardon me, Cincinnati's defense still feels like it's bad enough that they're going to have to chuck it around a little bit. And
True.
I mean, as long as I think, is Jake Browning as good a quarterback as Burrow? Obviously not.
Yeah.
But in these situations, a guy that's as talented as Jamar Chase is, his floor probably drops, but I don't think his ceiling drops. I think as long as he's getting the targets,
Yeah, that's true.
he can, potentially make something out of that.
True.
Next, we have Jaden Reed. So, wide receiver for Green Bay Packers, one of their many wide receivers they have over there. So his is a collarbone fracture.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy about this and what developed is that not that he had surgery. So he had surgery to repair it, which for collarbone fractures, I mean, sometimes they repair them, sometimes they don't. I mean,
Yeah.
in this kind of collision sport and what the goal is and what is realistic in terms of rehab and returning to sport, they figure all of that out. So he had
Yeah.
surgery on that, but he also had surgery for another injury that wasn't an injury that was reported at the time. Did you see this at
Yeah.
all? So
The Jones fracture.
the Jones fracture, yeah. So
Yeah.
he had surgery also on a Jones fracture in his foot.
Yeah.
So the Jones fracture is a fracture of your pinky toe. So along the outside of your foot, the bone that kind of sticks out at the base leading up to your pinky toe is your
Mm-hmm.
fifth metatarsal. And so a Jones fracture is a specific fracture of that bone. So Derrick Henry, Kevin Durant, kind of notable Jones fracture sort of injuries that have affected guys. And so that can be pretty gnarly. And he is out indefinitely. So no real
Yeah.
timetable for his return. I don't know. I mean, the Packers seem like they're one of the best teams in the league right now. So if they make a deep playoff run,
Yeah.
I guess maybe there's a chance that he could be back for that. But
17
that's tough.
weeks, 15 weeks away. Yeah, that is tough. That sucks.
Yeah.
Double surgery.
Yeah, to have that. Next one, you've got Justin Fields. So he entered the concussion protocol during the game, and it looks like he's going to be out for this week too. Don't really need to explain a concussion too much.
Yeah.
We know what concussions are
Mm-hmm.
at this point. So you've got Aaron Jones next. So hamstring injury, hamstrings popping up.
Yes.
They're tough. He is
What
now
happens?
on IR too. He just got put
Ooh.
on IR yesterday, I think. So again, IR is 4-week minimum. And what's important with the IR too, and this is the same case for George Kittle, these guys that get put on IR, especially with these hamstring things, it's what we said early on. These hamstring things linger. 4 weeks goes by, that's great. You're rehabbing, you're getting rest, you're doing those things, but there's still that element of, we got to get you back into practice. We got to get you back up to game speed. And then what does that look like? Can it still handle playing in a game? So you come back from IR, and does that mean you can go right away? Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. And then last, but certainly not least, unfortunately, Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Achilles is cooked.
Yeah.
It was pretty immediate. It was the thing. As soon as it happened, I'm sure you saw texts. I think I texted you.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take, they say, and they're doing their professional due diligence with this, but it's kind of like, he's headed to the tent, looks like maybe a lower leg injury.
Apparent
leg
injury.
No, Achilles.
We all know.
Yeah. That's
again, poor guy, man. He's been through it too.
Yeah. Yep. All right, that'll do it for injury talk.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the coronation quest.
Yes.
So we've got an updated list for our fantasy and football coronation quest. So as a reminder, as we get that pulled up, the fantasy and football coordination quest is the official quest players have embarked on without their consent by us to obtain titles that we have set through the year. So week to week, we will go in and see who wins for that week. We'll keep a running tally through the end of the season to see who officially claims that title on their coronation quest.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
week 2.
Colby, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. So for the King of the North and the Goblin King, we got the same guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He balled out this week.
He did.
Hand of the King, which is the most receptions. Jamar Chase, I think he had like 14 receptions, something like that. Did you well. the Shield of Rohan, which is best defense, Atlanta Falcons. The Lysan Al-Gaib.
That was better.
It's better.
You're getting there.
This one is pretty obvious. Brandon Aubrey, if anyone watched the Dallas game, I'm sure you've heard his story about how he was a soccer player. And then, have you heard the story?
I have, but remind me.
Okay. So he was a professional soccer player, and him and his wife were watching an NFL game, and somebody missed a kick. And his wife was like, "You could do that." And he was like, "No, I couldn't." But it kept lingering in his mind. So he went to a field, and his first kick after he warmed up was a 60-yard field goal. Nobody was around, and he made it. So then he was like, "Oh shoot, maybe I can do this." So then he hired a personal trainer for kicking, and then played in, I don't think it was the XFL, but it was some minor league football basically,
or Canadian,
and then got picked up off of there. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Well, he's a very good kicker. He can win you some matchups for sure. Yeah.
Yes. He had 25. Okay, the Reaper most rushing yards was Jonathan Taylor. He had 160. And then our favorite, the Creature Golem, was Miles Price, which, what'd you say he had, -2?
-2. He recorded a fumble, and that's it.
Yeah.
He's a wide receiver for Minnesota.
Mhm.
Recorded a fumble, -2.
Yeah.
Miles Price, and a race to the bottom.
Yeah, and he, unlike last week's winner of this, didn't get released from the team. So there's still a chance.
There's still a chance he can redeem himself.
Yes.
All right, well, that was an awesome coronation quest there. We'll keep track. All different, by the way. We'll note from last week, if you go back and look. So still technically a tie all the way down, all new winners this week.
Yep.
All right, Colby, it's that time.
All right, everybody. We're going to switch to the fantasy section from the fantasy section
of the podcast.
Today, we're going to talk about a few things. One, Chris just finished a book. So we're going to talk about that. And then after that, I'm going to pitch some new book ideas for Chris to read before he gets to another book that I'll talk about in a minute. But first, you finished a book called The Will of the Many. I want to talk about it. This book looks epic.
Yes.
So for you out there watching, the viewers of this, he visited me here in Alaska and brought that book with him, and I read the first paragraph, and it was probably the most gripping first paragraph of a book I've ever read. I was like, oh, I moved that up on my TBR fast.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear about this. What you thought about it?
It's great. So that's perfect, because I did want to talk to you about this. So that it's that there's no prologue to the book. Just that first paragraph 1, chapter 1, paragraph 1. So I got all the way through the end of the book. I got through the epilogue, and then for this particular print edition of this book, there's a little excerpt from the author, James Islington, where he talks about how it was really hard as they edited the book down and made decisions. He acknowledges it was the right decision for what they wanted the book to be and everything like that. But he said the hardest part of the book for him to edit out was the actual prologue that he wrote for the book. And so he included it at the very end of this edition, the original prologue, and it leads to that first paragraph.
Really?
And it is amazing. It is.
Oh,
it
so
was such like a. Oh yeah. It was great.
Cute.
It was great. It was really cool, and it worked. I don't think it was intentional. I think it really was like, oh, in this print edition of this book, I really just want to put my original prologue that I wrote in here so that people have it. But honestly, where he put it, you get through that whole book, and then he puts that there, and it's like this. It's like Marvel post-credit scenes. It's like the real reason you came to watch the movie was to see the post-credit scenes. Awesome. It acted like that, and it really helped like tie it. I mean, it was
Like a full circle moment kind of
5
thing?
pages. Yeah, it just gave you more in like 5 pages
Yeah.
of a main character that you get to know, obviously, through that
Yeah.
book. It gives you a much deeper understanding.
Yeah.
And then it's like you've read the whole story, and now you can like think back on all of that as you're reading this prologue, and it just
Yeah.
makes that connection to it that much
Oh,
deeper.
that's so cool.
It was fantastic.
I love
It was
that.
really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Book overall, the book overall was sweet. It's unusual for kind of the fantasy sci-fi books that I've been reading, namely, Brandon Sanderson and that sort of thing. We talked about a little bit, I think, before, but it doesn't give you just like chapter 1, the magic system.
Yes.
Chapter 2, the people and places.
Yes.
And then chapter 3, like now the story begins.
Yes.
It would be literally a spoiler-free explanation if I just explained what the magic system is right now, because you don't know anything about how anything works or like what or what's going on. But there's a lot of good character development that way, I think, because it kind of forces you to pay attention to like very minute things that are happening.
Yeah. I like that when they
and try to figure out, and it takes some good twists and good turns throughout the book. The ending is a really good crescendo, but it is not by any stretch a standalone. Like that book, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's an excellent book, but the second one that comes out is going to be, I cannot wait, because it feels like just such a little tease.
Yes.
700-page tease.
Dude, well, hey, you don't have to wait long. The next book, which for you out there, is called The Strength of the Few, which, first off, I love when authors do that with their titles. They like tie them together, The Will of the Many and The Strength of the Few. But it comes out November 11th of this year.
Yes. Yeah,
it does. Less than 2 months away, baby.
I know. I'm very excited. I'm thinking about pre-ordering it. We'll see.
Ooh, yeah.
Either way, it will be in my possession in short order.
So, with this book, is it first person or third person?
First.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice. If you were to people out there, I haven't read this obviously, and I don't even know exactly what it's about. Is there a non-spoiler like little pitch you can give for it?
Yeah. So the book follows the main character. So it's first person for the main character, whose name is Vis. He also includes a very nice glossary with like how to pronounce
really
name. Yes.
I love
so
that.
Good. So you don't have to guess. Yes.
Yeah.
We can do our little we can do another name game. That'd be great with some of those characters. So this is set in some other universe, time and place sort of thing. And it is the first person of the main character, Vis, and he is an orphan who finds his way into an elite academy that breeds very important and powerful people for this society. The whole point of the academy is that only the best of the best get in and go there, and then when they come out, they're heads of state and senators and all this within the academy, and then there inevitably are maybe some strings being pulled here and there, kind of the usual things that you expect going on. But then there's a deeper mystery of something that's going on, kind of underlaying all of that, and he sort of just finds himself in the middle of it. And it's very much that sort of like academy style thing. It's like
Ooh, I'm into
Harry
it.
Potter in the sense of like everything happens when they go to school. It's like
Yeah.
that sort of trope.
So how old it generally is Viz?
This is a teenager.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm into it, dude. I'm gonna bump this up on my list.
You need to, especially with that second one coming out so soon.
Yeah, you're right. I can just go back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say that first paragraph, I was like, that might be the sickest thing I've ever read to open a book. It was like, dude, we were like on the road to a hike, and I was like, I don't even want to do this hike anymore. I just want to read this book.
I just want to sit here and read. Yeah.
Well, nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So sounds like you really enjoyed it.
I did.
It's awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
Great. So from that, Chris is. So I'm like almost all the way caught up with Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, and Chris is working his way through it. And the next one on that path for him is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson in the Stormlight Archive. It's one of the greatest books I've ever read in my life, but it is a chunky boy. I mean, that thing is like 1,200 pages.
They're all,
Yeah. So it's always tough going from like an epic fantasy to another even bigger epic fantasy. I think it's almost better to like cleanse your palate. So what I'm going to offer to you today is 3 books. There's 2 sci-fi books and 1 fantasy.
Okay.
All 3 of these are intentionally shorter books. At least they're either physically shorter or like easier to read. It's not huge epic scales. And you'll see when I pitch them. But I'm going to go through these 3, and you obviously don't have to choose any of them. But I think you would like them. They're books that I have read. Okay, so this first one, the book is called Mort. This is the fantasy book.
Okay.
It's by Sir Terry Pratchett. Have you ever heard of Terry Pratchett?
No.
Yeah, he's a big name in fantasy. He actually died of early onset Alzheimer's at like 66.
Oh, wow.
But he was regarded as like one of the greatest fantasy writers of the time. And some of the, like Brandon Sanderson says that he's his all-time favorite and who he thinks is the best fantasy writer of all time.
Okay.
He is really, really good at comedy writing.
Okay.
So he has the picture that's in the background of this. It's he writes in this huge universe called Discworld, but it's not like the Cosmere where things are like very, very, very loosely connected, but you can read any of them at any time and not have to know anything about anything else. It's more like you're like, oh wait, I've seen this random character before in another story, but it doesn't matter. But the whole concept, just to give you how absurd it is the world is a disc that's being carried by giant elephants that are on top of a sea turtle that's just flying through space. It's just like, so it's like, and that never matters. It's just like a fun fact.
Okay.
But
all right.
So this actual book, it's 73,000 words, so it's about like 270 pages. It is part of that Discworld. It's a good entry point because it's a very light read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read like the back of the book to you, and then I'm going to read what my Goodreads review was at the time when I read this.
Okay.
So the book blurb. Death comes to us all. When he came to Mort, he offered him a job. Death is the Grim Reaper of the Discworld, a black skeleton with a scythe who ushers souls into the next world. He is also fond of cats and endlessly baffled by humanity. Soon, Death is yearning to experience what humanity really has to offer, but to do that, he'll need to hire some help. It's an offer Mort can't refuse. As Death's apprentice, he'll have free board, use of the company horse, and being dead isn't compulsory. It's a dream job, until Mort falls in love with Death's daughter, Isabel, and discovers that your boss can be a real killer on your love life. So it's pretty funny. Like I laughed out loud several times, and it's like really witty humor. So it's not like knee slappers. It's like, oh, that was clever and like kind of stupid, but also like really funny. Mort is like 13, I think, or something. And he just like lives on a farm in like Kansas, Smallville, and this Grim Reaper shows up. He's like, hey, I'm gonna hire you if you want. It's like, all right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But my Goodreads review. First off, I'm a very easy grader. I give everything 5 stars unless I actually didn't like it. Like if I like it at all, I'm like 5 stars. So
Yeah.
But I did give this thing 5 stars.
Okay.
Here's my review. My first book into the Discworld. This was a fun, lighthearted read with a really great climax and resolutions. It did take me a bit to get into the story, but the payoff at the end was well worth it. This is a comedy, absurdist fantasy book, and if that's your style, then definitely check out the book. Nice and simple.
All right, that was good.
Yeah.
That's
So
solid.
if you want to stay in fantasy, it's a fun read. It's
All right.
very like it's one of those books that I'll think about from time to time and just be like,
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Discworld.
But it's a good
All right.
palate cleanser. Okay.
Okay. All right. That's Mort.
Mort by Terry Pratchett. Okay. This one. All Systems Red
Ooh.
by Martha
I like the
Wells.
name. I like the name already.
Yeah. I think you'll like this concept too. So this is a novella. So it's only 30,000 words. It's 150 pages. It's part of a series called The Murderbot Diaries.
Oh.
Yeah, a new show just came out in May.
Yeah.
So like the first 3 are novellas, and then like there's a few novels, and then there's some other novellas in this like whole series. But full disclosure, I've only read this one so far. I read this as part of a book club, so I like waited to like for everyone to finish. But I easily could have read this book in a day because it was good.
Yeah.
So this is the book blurb. As a heartless killing machine, I was a complete failure. In a corporate-dominated spacefaring future, planetary missions must be approved and supplied by the company. For their own safety, exploratory teams are accompanied by company-supplied security androids. But in a society where contracts are awarded to the lowest bidder, a team of scientists is conducting surface tests shadowed by their company-supplied drop a self-aware sec unit. I must have typed that wrong. That has hacked its own governor module. So it's a sec unit, this android, that has hacked its own governor module and refers to itself, though never out loud, as Murderbot. Scornful of humans, Murderbot, all they want is to be left alone, enough to figure out who it is, but when a neighboring mission goes dark, it's up to the scientists and Murderbot to get the truth. That was a mouthful. Basically, there's one of these androids, and it like is supposed to have these safety mechanisms that doesn't let it have like free thought, but it has somehow, unknown to the reader in the beginning, gotten through those, and now has like free thought. It is like, kind of thinking like a human, and this thing is just like programmed to basically kill, and it is just toiling with that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then something goes wrong and it has to like choose if it's going to help humans or not. And yeah. So my review, 5 stars. I said, this was a great read with a very cool concept and quick, only being about 150 pages. I read this as part of a reading group with stopping points. Otherwise, I bet I would have read the entire thing in a day. Definitely recommend for you science fiction fans out there. Exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. This one will be nice if you were like wanting to read something fast, because it is cool.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested. So when we read this as our group, it's first person, and it's androgynous, so you don't know if this thing is like male or female. And it was interesting. Like half of us pictured it as male and half pictured it as female, but it never says. Yeah. Okay.
You should ask a medium what that means.
Yeah, true.
Okay. All Systems Red. That sounds good.
Yeah. Scythe. Okay. Ooh, this is a science fiction book. This one's a little bit longer than the other ones. It's 102,000 words, so it's about 450 pages. That being said, I read it in a week. I read it very fast.
Okay. All right.
It's the first book in a trilogy. I've only read the first book, but I'm definitely going to read the other ones. I really like this book blurb. Is short and to the point. I think it's really well done. So here it is. Thou shalt kill. A world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Humanity has conquered all those things, and has even conquered death. Now, scythes are the only ones who can end life, and they are commanded to do so in order to keep the size of the population under control. Citra and Rowan are chosen to apprentice to a scythe, a role that neither wants. These teens must master the art of taking life, knowing that the consequence of failure could mean losing their own.
Okay, that sounds, yeah, okay. Let's
I
hear
honestly,
your Goodreads.
yes, 5 stars.
Okay.
I loved this book. Science fiction. From the start, it was very intriguing and kept me reading until the very end. I don't know if I've ever read a book of this length in under a week, so that's definitely saying something. If you're a science fiction fan who finds a concept of the future where immortality has been achieved fascinating, then this should definitely be a read on your list. I will definitely be reading the next 2 books in the trilogy. And I haven't yet. And that was 2 years ago. Yeah. So I will say, Chris,
Okay.
this book, couple things. One, it is adult fantasy, but it reads more as YA because Citra and Rowan are like 14, I think.
Okay.
So it's easy to digest, and the world is it's Earth just in the future, so there's no like steep learning curve. But also, I thought that concept of like the immortality being achieved and some other things that happen in this book, I think you would vibe with. I think you would like this one.
Yeah. Okay. I will say, so far, or like out of the 3, this one is probably the most appealing.
Yeah, I think it just depends. With these choices, if you want something that is truly like you're not gonna have to think about it much, and you just want something that's like a fun read before you get to the beast, then Mort would be a good way to go. If you want something fast, Murder By is cool, but also you're gonna finish it in like a day.
Yeah.
But this one you're gonna think about because it's really cool. But it's a great book, and I think you would vibe with it. But it didn't feel that big, even though it was like 450 pages.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Those are good choices.
Yeah. There you go. So that was the main thing. I'd be curious if you choose any of them. You don't have to. I wish I had them with me. They're in my hometown. They're in Kansas. It's like on my shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Couple things. A couple other random questions I want to talk about because we got like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Any fantasy or sci-fi shows or movies that you've been watching recently?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Yes. So one is Invasion. So that's on Apple TV Plus. It's a kind of classically done. I'm sure it was a book. They're all based on books. But it's kind of a classic alien invasion show. And it's really well done. It's very dark. I guess there's not a lot of brightness to like alien invasion and the world being essentially over. But it is pretty dark. But it's very good. I like Invasion a lot.
Nice. Is it still going?
It is. Yeah, they're in the middle of season 2 or 3. And then another one I'm watching is Alien Earth. That one is Hulu, and it is so good. Are you a fan of the Alien movies? I think we talked about I've just seen like the original.
The original, and it was dope, but it was a long time ago.
Okay, so Ridley Scott's like Alien movie series franchise, I really enjoy those movies, which a lot of people do. They're cool. And what I like about them is that you know how it ends. I like that it's kind of like, okay, everyone is going to die. This movie is about how. Finding out how
that's a cool idea.
Happened. And then there's, of course, some, that's not the end all be all of those movies. There's some kind of story you're following, but it's really good. So this show, Alien Earth, so it's a show, not a movie, but it breaks away from kind of the central plot of Ridley Scott's movies, Alien movies, and takes place on Earth. Not a spoiler. It's called Alien Earth. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. It explores, like, you always had the sense, so the full like AI robots. You've got cyborgs in this now, and then you've also got these robot bodies with human consciousness downloaded into it.
Ooh.
And so you've got some new players in this. In the movies, you've got the synthetic AI inside of a robot, and then humans. And so now you've got these additional sort of humanoid characters plus aliens. Yeah, and it's very good. It's very, very good. It's very well done so far. I really like that. And then I've been meaning to talk to you about this. So the last one, I just finished it though, is season 3 of the show Foundation. Based on a book series.
Isaac Asimov.
That is on Apple TV Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3. So Colby and I watched, because did you watch season 2 as well?
I watched. I never finished it.
You didn't finish it. Okay, so we were kind of watching that.
We were watching it together for a while.
Together a little bit.
City.
Yeah. And dude, season 3 is by far the best so far. I will say it makes the most sense so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm always like, I got no idea what's going on.
Yeah, is this past?
And I love it.
Is this present? Is this future? Is it all of the above? So this chronologically makes the most sense, and also has the most action in it too. I would say the most like people moving around, people doing things like not just of consequence, but of immediate consequence. Like not the whole thing where they're like, oh, I did this thing, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what'd you do that for? And they're like, you'll find out in 500 years.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. But no, this was very good. Huge twists in it, and the season finale was top notch, and I so wish they just had the next season ready to rock and roll. It was really, really good.
I didn't stop watching it because I didn't like it. I really liked it. I just do this. It's a character flaw. I start shows and then I like just peter off. And I'm like, I should have finished that. I'll put it on the list.
On it, then,
I'll put it on the winter list. I have this thing I call the winter list because here in Alaska, everyone's on the go 24/7 in the summer. And then the winter, they say, is when things slow down. So my winter list is getting bigger and bigger.
It is, and I feel like I'm the one that keeps adding things for you. Before we get too far, so that I don't forget.
Yes.
I also wanted to ask you, and I just forgot. I was going to ask you about a book. I think it had something to do with. Oh yeah. Okay. Ooh. It's back. All right. Because we were talking about Will of the Mini and talking about the new one coming out, and then you were giving me the book recommendation. So I wanted to ask you, because we talked about this and haven't talked about it in a while, is if you moved Brandon Sanderson's non-Cosmere Steelheart from the Reckoners up on your list.
Dude, I forgot about that. I'm so glad you just said that, because I am probably like a week away from finishing my current book, and I want to read that. I'll put that on my list.
You should. And I think it would be good. I think it would be good because it's a quick read. And the first book stands alone, I think, really, really well. So if it's something that you didn't want to commit to, I think it's a 3-book series with 2 novellas.
Yeah.
I think if you literally just wanted to do the first book without committing to the other ones,
I'm gonna check it out.
It's cool. It's really cool.
I think I will read that next. because I've been wanting to.
And I just want
you sold
to
me
talk
on
to
it.
someone about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'll read it and then we talk
That's how
about
I
it
feel
here.
with Will the Mini. It's like I can't talk to no one I know that has read it.
I mean, that's what reading's for, is to be able to talk about it with people. Not only, but that's like half of it.
Yeah.
That's why everyone I meet, I'm like, have you met my Lord and Savior, Brandon Sanderson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That blasphemy to put out on the internet, saying that out
Is
loud.
that?
Yeah.
Nah. Because I'm sure there's much worse. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about your fantasy shows or movies.
I just recently started an anime actually, called Frieren Beyond Journey's End. That's the name of the character, Frieren. I'll just really quickly tell you the concept, and the reason I am watching it is because my friend pitched it to me and I liked the idea.
Okay.
So the main character, she's an elf in like a fantasy world. So she lives hundreds, like thousands of years. And she's like in the middle of her life. Like she's not even old. But her backstory was like the 3-book trilogy of these heroes who like saved the world. But then they all died. And it's like 80 years later. And she's now just like on Earth. And all of that is behind her. And now like some stuff starts to happen again. And she is just kind of like indifferent, because to her, like everyone's like, these are the heroes, and she's like, yeah, that was like a blip in my life. So it just like follows her on that idea, and I was like, that's intriguing enough for me to check it out. Yeah. And it's classic anime where it's like and like the guy gets hit and flips 50 times, he's like, that all you got?
That's all you got. And then they talk for 3 episodes.
Yeah. They're like
what
going into punch.
Yeah.
And they're like, he has no idea that I'm actually waiting to use the secret move. And the other is like, well, he has no idea that and it's like 2 minutes of dialogue as their fists are just like coming together to hit.
Yeah. And then it ends the episode, and then the next episode. It shows them right there, but then it's a flashback episode.
Exactly.
When they were kids and they were friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like 10 episodes in. It is good. That's the only show
10 episodes in, they've thrown one punch.
Yeah. And then you're like, that was the sickest punch I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Until everyone
it usually is.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, cool.
Well, great. I think that's a good place to end it. We can talk about some of the other stuff that we didn't get to today next time.
Sounds good.
Because I know we got some things we want to talk about. But all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. This was episode 4. Next week, we're going to be talking about week 3 in the NFL and then some other cool fantasy stuff that we decide on. So stay tuned. All right. Peace.